Good morning, guys. Today I'm going to show you how to set up your data table and create a graph using Google Docs and Google Sheets. So in class, we talked about how to set up a data table. I want you to have a title. So to do that, remember to get all the cells together, you're going to need to select the boxes, go to Table, and then Merge Cells, and they become all one cell like this. We don't want to do that for those titles though, so I'm going to undo that. You need to have your independent variable listed in the first column, and across you're going to have your dependent variable. So the independent variable is what we're testing, and the dependent variable is what we are measuring. So this is what we change. So it could be the pullback distance of a rubber band, the mass of a car, the people you were testing, the types of liquids you were testing, the type of memory or reaction time you're testing, and then down the rest of the columns you're going to have your data that you collected. This is important for when you go to graph. So you're going to want to have your independent variable on this down the column, and the dependent variable going across in the row. It will make it easier when you make your graph. So we made this in Google Docs, so it would be professional looking, and it would be ready to go when we go to print out and make our boards. But to make the graph, you are going to have to do that in Google Sheets, and then we're going to copy and paste the graph into our Google Doc. So in order to do that, we need to open a Google Doc. So you're going to go to your drive, and we're going to go New, and you're going to do a Google Sheets. Google Sheets is what we use to make a graph. And you're going to create that, and you're going to name it like with your name and Mini Science Fair graph. Every single person's going to make a graph and turn it in, so you're not going to need to share this file with a partner or anything. So you're going to put your name and Mini Science Fair graph. And then you can see some things about Google Sheets. They have columns that are identified with letters, A, B, C, D across, and you're going to have rows identified with numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so these are called cells. Each little box is called a cell, and it's kind of like Battleship. So if I said click in C3, that would be right here, C and 3. Okay, so that's kind of how this is laid out. So you're going to go back and forth between the Google Sheet, which is the green icon, and the Google Doc, which is the blue icon. So we're going to go to our Google Doc, and we are going to highlight our independent variable that we tested. So the first column of your table, if it's set up correctly. And we're going to paste that in A1. And the shortcuts on a keyboard for Chromebook for copying and pasting is Control-C to copy and Control-V to paste. And the reason it's a V is because it's right next to the C, not because V goes with paste. Anyways, you're going to take your independent variable, and then you're going to do the average of your data that you collected for your dependent variable. So you're going to highlight your average column. And we're going to paste that in B1. And these should line up. So the water should have an average of 21. So you can go look at your table and make sure you copied it correctly. Water has 21 drops. So you're going to be in your Google Sheet. You're going to highlight what you want to graph. So I want to graph this data. And so I'm going to go to Insert and Chart. And all of you are going to be making a bar graph. Okay, a bar graph is because you are measuring each thing separately. It's not a change over time. There are a couple experiments that were a change over time, but most of you are comparing one group to another group. So that's why you're going to use a bar graph. A line graph would show a change over time. So you're going to try out the different graphs, and you can also go into chart types to see the different types of graphs. So we are going to use a column graph here. And it looks good. It has all of our titles, has the number of drops and the liquids here, and your title here. And the reason all those things ended up in the right place is because you set up your data table correctly. So you can also go into customization, and this is where you could change the title. So you could say surface tension of different liquids. And you could change the font size if you wanted to. I see I want the D to be capital. This is kind of like a title where all of the nouns are going to have a capital letter. You can change your axes label here. So this says liquids. And this is then to change the average number of drops over here on the y-axis, you'd go to the vertical axis, and we could say number of drops on a penny. And you can change your grid lines bigger or smaller if you feel like you need to. And you can change the color here, but we're going to be printing black and white, so the color doesn't matter. And that's it. So then you're going to click Insert, and you can move it around. And then we're going to highlight this, and you're going to do Control-C to paste it. And then you can go into your shared document, and somebody can paste it in there. Oh, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. So maybe here. Oh, all right. So I click the drop down arrow in the corner, copy chart, go back to the Google Doc, and then I can do Control-V, and it will paste chart. And if you leave it linked, if you make a change in either one, it will automatically change the other one. So if you make a change in the Google Sheet, it'll change the graph in the Google Doc. So that's kind of nice. And then you're going to also turn this in a Schoology assignment. So you're going to turn in the Google Sheet. So make sure that you label it something you can remember. And then I'll show you how to turn in the assignment on Schoology. So on Schoology, you're going to pick an assignment or you're going to open the graphing assignment, and you're going to go to Submit Assignment. And then we're going to attach it by going to Resources, Apps, Google Drive, and I know that that file is in a folder for me. Yours would probably be listed at the top. So it's in this folder, and I named it Grandel's Mini Science Fair Graph, so it's important to know what you named it. It's also going to have the green icon right here. So I'm going to check the box, Import File, and it will attach it, and it's turned in. That's all you have to do. If you have questions in the video, you just need to rewind it, pause it, replay it. You are going to each create your graph. Now you know how to use Google Sheets to make a chart, and you'll be all set for science fair as a 7th grader. Thanks for your time. You guys are doing a great job.